going back to the discussion with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, I think it's been a net positive overall. Yeah, it may trade at a negative, and that's just really what that is smart traders telling you where the market's going to go. For all of you plebs out there, just follow what the smart money's doing. The guys that do this professionally for a living that make 99% of the money off of Wall Street, and maybe you should mirror their trades. I don't know, not financial advice, may not be a good idea, but for the most part, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has been nothing but a net positive for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. You've got the opportunity for people with traditional legacy finance, tax deferrable vehicles, giving them the opportunity to invest in Bitcoin without having to have a self-directed IRA or self-directed 401k. And because those things can be complicated. And I think Rocket Dollar does a great job with it. And in fact, we have worked with Rocket Dollar. Rocket Dollar is the primary source of those who are participating in the Hex Investment Trust. If you want to do it via self-directed IRA, there are guys right now. They are the ones that their custodian went through, looked at the PPM, approved the asset as a custodian, and said, yeah, by all means, we believe that it's safe for people to invest in this product. I mean, other than the volatility of the underlying asset itself, which is Hex. So we created the Hex Investment Trust for institutional players and for mom and pops that don't want to control their own keys to be able to put their retirement funds into something that's going to outperform, or if it continues to act the way that it has over the last 3 years, is possible that it could outperform anything that's on the S&P right now, or on the NASDAQ, since that's where we would be looking to trade. But
can you kind of talk about like the process for for Hex Investment Trust, for Rocket Dollar and stuff? Like how can the person who says, okay, I have a 401k, I have retirement stuff, I want to go in Hex, I want to or at least put a portion of it in Hex. How can they actually do it? Like, can you make
absolutely
it tangible for people?
Yeah, so the easiest way to do it is to go to hexinvestmenttrust.com, hexinvestmenttrust.com. Go apply, or not apply, but say I want more information. Once you're vetted and verified, that, or at least you state that you're an accredited investor, then we'll start the process of verifying and KYCing all of those things. But in the meantime, you can reach out to Rocket Dollar and let them know, hey, I'm looking at getting into this trust. Right now it's in the private stage. They're very familiar with us. It shouldn't be any issues at all. They'll walk you through what it takes to set up a self-directed IRA or 401k to invest in the Hex Investment Trust. So the first step is to reach out to the Hex Investment Trust. The next step is to reach out to Rocket Dollar, and they actually make it pretty simple to walk through. So I started the process myself because I was thinking, I've got a Roth IRA from way back in the day that I would love to be able to roll into this. As being part of the CEO of the sponsoring company of the trust company, Rocket Dollar actually suggested, we recommend you can put your own money into it, but not in a self-directed vehicle, especially after Peter Thiel got a lot of crap from Congress for putting all of his PayPal stock into a Roth IRA, and then it going up, the valuation, his percentage of the company ended up going to like $5 billion, and it was all 100% tax-free, and they all wanted to cry about tax the rich. So they recommended that I didn't do that, that if I were going to invest, that it just be that's trading money over the desk trading money. So, but for all of you guys out there that are as part of the active members of the fund, of the trust itself, Rocket Dollar makes it very simple. I think it's like $300 setup and $15 a month, something like that. And then they handle moving all the money between all the different trust companies that handle the transaction and getting KYC'd and everything else.
Yeah, you could just trade from MetaMask tax free, not a tax advisor, not financial advisor, any of that stuff. But from what I've seen, you can you just have a separate IRA MetaMask wallet account that you just don't use for anything else. You be very strict with it, but then you can just trade and buy Hex. You can get ETH and buy Hex with and stuff like that from there. So pretty amazing how easy they've made it be.
Yeah, and in fact, if you've got assets in there already, they can actually help you liquidate those assets $2 and then invest into ETH and USDC and turn it into, Hex and whatever else. But they'll help you actually liquidate your stocks and bonds in order to make that happen. So And right now, I mean, everything's down. Crypto's down, stock market's down, everything's down. But now's the time. Which do you think is going to outperform the other come this next bull cycle? I don't want to get too political, but I think if the Republicans take both houses of Congress and come January 20th, they come into their new roles. Usually, businesses and especially equity funds really like when Republicans are there because they feel there's more sturdy or more fiscal responsibility with the monetary policy, and that there's going to be a little bit of hands off, let the businesses do their own thing and be profitable and employ people. And whether that's true or not, it doesn't matter. The markets, if you look at these elections, especially the midterms, typically it'll swing back the other way. Financially and economically. And I think we could have a huge upswing back the other way this next year, next 2 years. And if that's the case, where would you rather have your money, in crypto or the S&P 500? So, and the S&P 500 is not a bad investment alone, but I'd rather, instead of a 1x, 2x gain, I'd rather get a 10, 100, maybe 1,000x gain.